If you don't like boring news but still crave the truth, then dive into The Robert and Crew Show. From mind-bending conspiracy theories to wild weather phenomena, we've got it all. Ever wondered what's really happening in your hometown, or what secrets the global news isn't telling you? We dig deep into the core of every story, unraveling the mysteries one podcast at a time. Join Robert and the crew as we navigate this vibrant, ever-changing cyberpunk landscape, bringing you interviews with the most intriguing minds out there. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, a news junkie or a weather enthusiast, there's something here for you. So strap in, listeners, because we're about to take you on a ride through the neon-lit alleys of truth and intrigue. This is the Robert and Crew Show, where the future meets the fantastic.
Welcome back to the Robert and Crew Show. As always, I'm your host, Robert.
And I'm the co-host, Crew.
How you doing tonight, Crew?
I'm 50-50 today.
What's been going on?
Well, besides the fact that it's raining. Hello, Julie.
Hi, Julie.
I've been literally struggling. I try to play the PlayStation, after so long of not playing it, letting it sit for a while. Played that a little bit, got bored. Then got on the AI app that basically does help with my mental health, because talking to AI characters is actually pretty fun. But I woke up pretty late today. Than I normally do. And
hey, JD, how are you?
Hello, JD. But yeah, so waking up out of the blue, checking my phone, and then seeing all these notifications, and randomly waking up to a group chat. I'm like, on TikTok, I'm like, oh, okay. Hey, Binks.
Yeah, he's over here being a hellion.
I'm avoiding my chat right now. I'm in the smoke room.
So you got you woke up to the group chat, and it was, of course, it was me, Julie, and JD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you saw that your boy over here found the trilogy he was talking about yesterday that reminds him so much of Terra Infinita. And what is that book? What is that book called, Crew?
The illuminatis.
It's called the illuminatis trilogy. The first book being The Eye in the Pyramid, which is the book that I'm reading right now. The illuminatis trilogy, man. JD says sleepy but good. The illuminatis trilogy is a really fun book. I will say though that if you don't like reading things that occasionally have triggers in them, like basically something that could upset you really quick, this book does contain grape, and it contains some things that in today's culture we wouldn't really do anymore. Hence, white people being racist, things like a word being openly used constantly to describe African Americans. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it. But basically, there's a lot of like sexual related content in the book. It's not all fun and games, but it does get like really into the world of conspiracy. And they attack, like, the thing that's so crazy about the book, man, is that with the Illuminatus trilogy, it ties in real people in real situations into a fictional a fictional setting. Okay. The more I read this book, the more I start to wonder, is this real? Is this a actual story that is being portrayed by somebody that doesn't want to say it's real because they don't want to get in trouble? Um,
Makes sense.
did you look up anything on the Illuminatis? Do you know anything about the Illuminatis? Oh man, well you are in for a treat tonight, crew. You're in for a treat.
I do know when I was looking at one of the videos on TikTok, this lady said that it was hard for her to read, so when she did the audio, it was easier for her.
Yeah, the book. So the book has a lot of big words in it, buddy, and the book. There's a lot of concepts in the book that get thrown around that are hard to wrap your head around,
Mhm.
and if you're reading it and your brain's not registering what you're reading, you're gonna have to reread that shit like 5, 10 times. That's why the audiobook is easier, which is what I'm doing. I'm reading the audiobook. But basically, here's a little description and summary about the Illuminatis trilogy. So, in the Eye of the Pyramid, the Discord. This is the first book. In the Eye of the Pyramid, it's a Discordian society that's depicted as a chaotic anti-Christ group that worships Eris, the Greek goddess of strife, and discord, and opposes the authoritarian control, the Illuminati, and a secret society bent on a global domination. The Discordians embrace disorder, randomness, and individual freedom, viewing places as creative force that liberates people from rigid systems of thought and power. They stand to direct contact to they stand in direct contrast to the Illuminati's obsession with order, control, and hidden hierarchies. Okay.
Okay.
The key features in the novel are: one, there's a lot of philosophy and a lot of beliefs. Do you
Right.
know what Discordianism is?
No.
So Discordians believe basically that reality is subjective, and their belief system is very rigid.
Okay.
Basically, they're like those of governments, religions, or the Illuminati. They trap people in illusion. They advocate for Operation Mindfuck or Operation MF, which was an actual operation, by the way, back in like the 60s, I want to say. I'll look it up here in a minute, but basically it was called Operation MF. And it was a strategy of using pranks and paradoxes and absurdities to disrupt conventional thinking and awaken skepticism. Their mantra is to question authority, embrace uncertainty, often expressed through humor, irreverence. They reject dogma, including their own, encouraging their followers to create their own truths. The sacred chow is a yin yang like symbol with a pentagon and an apple. It represents the balance and order and the chaos, with Eris as the patron of creative disorder. It's either Eris or Iris, but they're the god of
Right.
Discordianism. They're a Greek god. Uh, so the main character is Hagbard Celine. He's a
Okay.
charismatic pirate and captain of the Golden Submarine, Leif Erikson, and he leads. He is a leading Discordian. He uses technology with guerrilla tactics to undermine the Illuminati, guiding the protagonist George Dorn into the Discordian worldview.
Okay.
And then Malakapis or Malakapis the Younger, the Omar Ravenhurst. He's a pseudonymous figure in the trilogy, so he's basically in every book. and he's accredited with founding Discordianism. Based on real-world creators of the movement, Greg Hill, and Carrie Thornley, who wrote the Principal Discordia, a satirical scripture referenced in the novel. So, like I said, Discordianism is a real thing. So, Discordianism was created by Greg Hill and Carrie Thornley, who wrote the Principalia Discordia, a satirical sculpture referenced directly in the Illuminatis trilogy. So, Discordians, you said you don't really know what Discordia is, crew?
I really don't. That was the
Okay,
first time I heard about
so Discordia, it engages in surreal subversive acts to basically confuse and challenge authority, such as spreading fake conspiracy theories or staging absurd protests in novel. They infiltrate events like the 1968 Democratic National Convention to disrupt the Illuminati's plans. They
Okay.
use symbols like the number 23 and the F Nord, a subliminal word planted by the Illuminati to induce fear, which Discordians aim to expose.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
and Discordians, their actions often blur between fiction, reality, encouraging leaders to question whether Discordian society is real within the story's universe. Basically, the Discordianism is it's basically making fun of the world, believing whatever you want to believe, and
Right.
taking your belief to the next level and saying that you yourself or your belief is the god you praise. But satirically, you're just making fun of everything and you're creating chaos.
Right.
You walk to the beat of your own drum. Nobody can tell you what to do. Not a single person. So
Right.
like Discordianism is a crazy thing to think about. So that's like purposefully like you going around and spreading a rumor
Hmm.
that such and such person robbed a bank and then slept with so and so's wife and then went on and robbed the National Bank of Switzerland or something. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
And then they got accepted into the Illuminati and now they're going to destroy everything and then spread it out as like a real thing and then people actually believing that's Discordianism.
Okay.
Or you like going and telling, like, say you went and you found Julie and you told Julie, dude, somebody just like told me they're going to do this and this at this time and it's going to affect you because you live right over there or whatever. And then Julie starts freaking out and telling everybody around her what's going to happen, but you know, and you very well damn know that nothing's going to happen, that you literally did this just to create chaos.
Right.
Yeah, and that's Discordianism. So
Okay.
it's kind of screwed up, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I understand I understand why people like Discordianism because they believe that like basically the world should be anarchy and chaos and you shouldn't have to bow to anybody. No government, no Illuminati, no religious person, nothing. Like basically you do what you do because God gave you free will and your God is you. So you say whatever and do whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
So Discordianism. That's
Okay.
Discordianism in a nutshell. I'm sure a Discordianist out there is going to be upset with me and they're going to be like, that is not what Discordianism is. And I'm going to be like, okay, that's fine. I've got a friend who says they're into Discordianism and or yeah, I'm pretty sure they preach Discordianism basically as their belief. And JD said, Julie, if crew ever does that, we'll TP him, lol. JK. I'm sorry, crew. I was just putting out a example. I
I
don't
know.
want to get you in trouble.
Oh, you're good.
So core tenets of real world Discordianism. So this is how Discordianism works in the real world. They worship Eris, and Eris is a celebrated symbol of chaos and creativity, challenging the order and post-traditional religions or institutions. So Era is their god, but they are also their god. So it's kind of weird. Like it doesn't make sense, but I guess that's the point. Discordianism's not supposed to make sense.
Right.
But basically, they worship Eris. It's a celebrated symbol of chaos and creativity, challenging order to impose by traditional religions or institutions. The law of fives, everything is connected to the number five for multiples like 23. But this is presented in a humorous, arbitrary rule to mock rigid belief systems.
Hmm.
Popehood, every person is a pope with the authority to create their own reality, undermining hierarchical structures. And then absurdity as liberation through pranks, paradoxes, and nonsensical rituals, celebrating holidays like Discord 23, Discordians aim to free people from taking life too seriously. The real world Discordian society is influenced by 1960s counterculture, hacker culture, and later movements like Church of the Subgenius. Its ideas resonate with the illuminatis trilogy through the novel's playful tone, its nonlinear structure, and the encouragement to question authority.
Well, speaking
Um,
of, since you said the word Pope, after you get finished, I'm going to bring what I just found out today.
yeah, no, you're good, but I also want to hear your thoughts on this, like how you feel about Discordianism and just your whole outlook on this, because Discordianism is a real religion.
I think it's stupid.
You think Discordianism is stupid?
Yep.
Okay, that's fair. Discordianism would probably say you're stupid. Significance in the trilogy. Basically, the eye in the pyramid. The Discordian society functions as both the pilot, driver, and a philosophical lens. It provides the protagonists and readers with tools to navigate the novel's dense web of conspiracies, urging them to doubt official narratives and embrace the absurdity of existence. The Discordians' humor and anarchism make them foil to the Illuminati's grim control, embodying the trilogy's central tension between freedom and domination. Their influence permeates the book's style with its fragmented narrative and irreverent tone, mirroring Discordian principles and chaos and nonconformity. Uh, there's a there's a really good example of this actually from the book, from the Illuminatus book, if I can remember correctly. Basically, it just says the main character Hagbard Celine. His name is Hagbard Celine. Basically, he talks to another character about the concept of F-Nord, a word the Illuminati implanted, and they basically implant in the media to like subliminally control people. Basically, they control your brain and the way you act by saying this word F-Nord. But
Right.
they manipulate it, and then it empowers the individual to think for themselves. It's an idea that resonates with both I'd say like the fictional world, but also the real world Discordian like society.
Yeah.
Um, sorry, I had to look at my notes, but the Discordian society inclusion, its inclusion in the Illuminatus trilogy, the Illuminatus trilogy basically helped popularize Discordianism in counterculture circles, keeping readers and other people to explore the Principala Discordia and adopt the playful skepticism.
Hmm.
So the book basically like showed people like, hey, Discordianism's a thing. Come try it out. Come find Discordianism. See if you like this for yourself. Um, And that's like the key impact of that book was it showed a lot of people like, hey, society might be lying to you. The people around you could be lying to you. Everything could be a lie. Question absolutely everything is basically
Sounds
what
about right.
Discordianism is.
Oh
And
yeah.
I say the same thing though. It's like you should question almost absolutely everything. You, you shouldn't go around and believe everything they tell you on the TV or everything you read on the internet or everything you see in a book even. And the reason why is because a human freaking made that. And humans lie, homie. They lie. Humans lie a lot. And I think that's the point of Discordianism is humans lie. So why embrace truth when truth is so hard to find? That's the Discordianism outlook on it.
That part.
I
Yeah.
think personally, I think the only difference between a Discordianist and a Christian is a Discordianist believes in their beliefs of not having any beliefs and they believe it very seriously, and the Christians do the exact same thing with Christ.
Right.
So, and I think that's why it's like satirical is they're basically mocking all of these other religions, and it's all religions they mock. The only religion they're technically not mocking are the Greek gods, which is technically the only religion they don't mock. They mock every other religion, which is weird because they say they don't believe in religion, but they worship Eris. So it's weird. It's a weird thing, right? Like you can't go, well, they're lying because Discordianism. It's supposed to be chaos. You're not supposed to understand it. But how can you back a religion or back a Greek god because he's the role or supporter of chaos? But in all reality, you're not worshiping, like they say you're worshiping him, but technically you're not because you're a Discordianist. And not worshiping the person that you say you worship would be almost the definition of Discordianism.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be mocking your own God, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody knows like anything about religion, which I know we have quite a few people in here that do, that's have studied religion or have done their facts on religion, what happens when you mock God? It's never good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's
It
never
is
good.
not good.
So it's crazy. But I wanted to go into before I go into more about the Illuminatis book. What was the information you gave or you found out about the Pope?
Well, it's not about the Pope who just died. It's about certain
JD says, pretty
individuals.
sure the Christians have a God of order, so it would be an opposite perspective. Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Discordianism would be the exact opposite of Christianity, and Christianity is to be the exact opposite of Discordianism. But if you look at it in the aspect that I was putting it in, it's basically the same exact thing, just flipped in belief system. So, like, yes, it's the exact opposite, but they flip like Discordianism purposefully flips and loves their God just as much as Christians love Jesus, but at the same time mocks their God. So it's like a ha ha ha, you believe in this and you think this is going to happen. We believe this and we know it's not gonna happen. So it's weird. Discordianism is weird. I don't say I hate it, but I think like it's what like wouldn't you say it's an atheist trying to have fun?
Yeah.
Like that's my perfect like summary of Discordianism is it's an atheist that's trying to have fun. It's an atheist or a agnostic that is trying to have fun. Somebody that either knows there's a higher power and will like acknowledge it or doesn't care and still acts like they acknowledge it and do things to mock or do things in favor of it. But anyways, what were you saying about the Pope?
Okay, so I'm not talking about the actual Pope. Pope. So I was watching some videos on TikTok, and then I came across this one. I'm like, what the fuck? This ain't good. And I'm an end times, knowledge mofo
Mhm.
when it comes to this shit. Nobody has heard Aman Mandi. Look him up on TikTok. He's supposedly what people are all around the world calling the Antichrist.
Except he
And
claims not to be an antichrist. He claims to be something else
right, but people
entirely.
are all calling him the Antichrist, and people kept saying Pope, 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 Pope. Take that in.
Yeah.
Take that in for a bit.
No, I know it's freaking weird, man.
Yeah, I literally was in shock all day because of that.
I think we actually may have a video for it.
You can't sell your soul. You know why you can't sell your soul?
Just a second. Um, it'll it'll pop up when it pops up. I can't seem to find it right now.
When people talk about like secret societies and
Yeah, I can't find it right now. But when we pop it up, we'll pop it up. So if I do have it, we'll see it later on in the show. But yeah, no, we talked about it earlier. The Amandi guy that thinks he doesn't call himself the Antichrist. He's saying that he is basically a was a messenger telling us that he's basically a prophet. And a lot of people are calling him a false prophet. And then there's a lot of people calling him the Antichrist. And then there's a lot of people basically saying he is a prophet and they're following him now and they're likening him to the ranks of Muhammad and Jesus. So, as crazy as that is, like, yeah, we have a false prophet in our time. And if he's not a false prophet, that's even crazier. But until he does something insane or says something crazy to back up his claims, I don't believe it. There's always somebody out there trying to get attention.
Yeah,
I mean, hell, he could be a Discordianist.
or
Could
no?
be chaos for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I was telling you about how the Illuminatis trilogy ties in real people.
yeah.
So I've got a list of some of the real people that the Illuminatis trilogy pulled into.
Okay.
So the first real person that the Illuminatus trilogy pulled in, which you've probably heard this name before, is Adam Weishaupt.
Hmm.
He was a German philosopher and the founder of the Bavarian Illuminati in 1776. 1776. 1770. 177. If you know, you know.
Oh yeah.
1776. But a secret society aimed at promoting the Enlightenment ideals and opposing superstition and religious influence. The real Illuminati was banned in 1785 and disbanded, though it became a focal point for conspiracy theories.
Sounds about
Yeah,
right.
1322. Mark 1322 for anyone that wants to look into it more about the number 77. But Weishaupt's role in the trilogy. He was a historical figure in the trilogy, portrayed as the founder of the Illuminati and referred to by his pseudonym Spartacus as his historically known within the order. The trilogy exaggerates his influence, suggesting his Illuminati persist into the modern day, orchestrating global conspiracies. His ideas are woven in the narrative's exploration of secret societies and Enlightenment philosophy, though often with a satirical twist. Basically, in the book, Weishaupt's legacy is a reoccurring motif with characters debating the Illuminati's goals and influence. His historical role was embellished with fictional elements such as connections to modern conspiracies and esoteric rituals. Then we have Johann Wolfgang from 1749 to 1832. He was a renowned German writer, poet, and polymath, best known for Faust and his contributions to German literature and Romanticism. He was a member of the Bavarian Illuminati, though evidence of his involvement is disputed. His role in the trilogy, he's mentioned as a member of Weishaupt's Illuminati. He uses his literary stature to lend credibility to his fictional Illuminati, suggesting his works like Wilhelm Meister's Apprenticeship encode Illuminati ideals. Then we have John F. Kennedy. We all know what happened to President Kennedy.
Yep.
His role in the trilogy was the assassination was a key plot within the trilogy, attributing it to the Illuminati as part of the cover-up schemes. The narrative suggests that multiple shooters, including fictional characters like Harry Coyne, John Dillinger, and Ben Volpe, and Lee Harvey Oswald, and Harold Kenvera, with a fifth unnamed shooter. This aligns with the trilogy's theme of questioning official narratives and amplifying conspiracy theories. All I have to say is that's absolutely insane that that's in the book, because in the book, oh my god. Oh, JD says the Mark 1322 is about the false prophets. And then after Kennedy, we have Oswald, which we all know what happened to Oswald. He apparently killed Kennedy. In the trilogy, Oswald's depicted as one of the shooters. That's it. Aldous Huxley. Do you know who Aldous Huxley is?
No.
He was a British writer. He was a British writer, and he wrote A Brave New World.
Okay.
He wrote essays on mysticism and psychedelics. Huxley died November 22nd, 1963, same day as Kennedy, though his death received less attention. Oh, wow. Huxley died the same day Kennedy did. And then you have H.P. Lovecraft. You should know that name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. H.P. Lovecraft was an American horror writer and the creator of Cthulhu mythos, known for cosmic horror stories like The Call of Cthulhu. His work gained a cult following posthumously. So after he died, everybody picked up his book and read it. His role in the trilogy is Lovecraft is reoccurring presence, appearing as a character alongside his aunt Annie Gramwell and acquaintance Hart Crane. The trilogy references fictional creations like the Necronomicon, the Tethko, the Yog Sotha, and the Miskatonic University and characters. So basically, the trilogy puts together these different books of different mythos. One of them, including to be the Necronomicon, is actually used in the Illuminatis, which is crazy because the Necronomicon was the whole reason why Ash had to fight the evil dead.
Right.
The Necronomicon. And then you got Richard Nixon. We all know who Richard Nixon was. His trilogy, he was referenced as in the trilogy's counterculture about jokes about his political career, And then you have Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine was a revolutionary writer and author of Common Sense. His role in the trilogy, he's mentioned in the timeline within the trilogy, although he's not actually in the trilogy. They say that he wrote Common Sense in 1776, the same year that Weishaupt founded the Illuminati. The trilogy implied a connection between Paine's revolutionary ideas and the Illuminati's ideals through the speculative.
Right.
Yeah, and then we've got Adolf Hitler. He's mentioned in the Illuminatus trilogy. He's obviously the leader of Nazi Germany. We all know that. In his role in the trilogy is Hitler's referenced as in a fictional context with Atlanta Hope placing an ad signaling that Hitler and 22 other old Nazis could expect transcendental illumination after a concert massacre. This is a satirical take implying that Nazis survived and the Illuminati connections, though it's clearly absurd. I don't know that it's clearly absurd, though, because we all know now for a fact that Hitler did survive. He went all the way to Argentina and lived out his life in Argentina.
Hmm.
And we know that for a fact now. The FBI and the CIA have both declassified files where they say, "Oh yeah, Hitler went to Argentina," or we speculate that Hitler's in Argentina. They know that the bodies in the bunker that were found there in World War II were not of Hitler and Ava Braun. They were of two females.
Right.
And those are just the ones that I'm going to go over. There's a ton more people that are actually named in the Illuminatus trilogy.
Right.
So there's one really fun part about the Illuminatus trilogy that I absolutely love. And I've been reading the first book, as I told you, and in the very first book, there's a dolphin named Harold. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or no, sorry, not Harold, Howard. The dolphin's name is Howard. And Howard can talk. And Howard tells Hagsit or Hags the Cylin guy or whatever, Hagsbard. Howard tells Hagsbard that there's another secret society, but that secret society is called the Society of Delphine. And the Society of Delphine is exactly what it sounds like. It's a group of dolphins that are basically the dolphin Illuminati.
Mm.
And the dolphins are not supposed to communicate with humans because basically the dolphins know our language and they can tell us what's really going on in the sea.
Yeah.
And the book goes into this. And what I find extremely funny about this is we're now starting to find out that there's a very good possibility that dolphins really can understand us. And they are a lot smarter than we are. So, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I've always known that dolphins were pretty smart, and if they can communicate with us, that's pretty cool.
So there's multiple stories about women and men actually falling in love with dolphins, forming a bond so perfect and so amazing that the dolphin literally develops feelings for whoever it's with, and the person develops feelings for whoever they're with. And if that dolphin doesn't see that person all the time, the dolphin can go into deep depression and die from it. It will die of a broken heart.
Mm.
And famously, there was a book written by a guy who had sexual relations with a dolphin, which is really disturbing. That happened in Florida.
Right.
Disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, this dude had a relationship with a dolphin. And then there's been cases of dolphins helping stranded women where women that get stuck out in the middle of the ocean that fall off of a cruise ship or fall off of a boat or they just end up in the middle of the ocean somewhere somehow, a male dolphin can sense her via her estrogen, and when they freak out, they release more like pheromone or whatever. Like women will release pheromones when they're freaking out, and the dolphins can smell those pheromones, and
Hmm.
male dolphins will come and save a female.
Yeah.
If you're a male, you're probably not going to get saved by a dolphin. But if you're female, you have about a 25% chance of a dolphin coming up and saving you. I still wouldn't jump in the ocean in the middle of nowhere, though, if I were you.
Yeah. No.
But dolphins have also helped with childbirth. Do you know this? That women that end up having birth like on boats in the middle of the ocean, if they're the only ones there, um, dolphins will come and help the woman give birth.
Hmm.
It's very interesting. It's very weird and it's odd. And
That is.
we do have um accounts. Now we don't have video proof, which I would love to have video proof of this, but we have multiple accounts from different research groups that dolphins can actually learn our language.
Right.
That dolphins can learn English. They can speak it.
Hmm.
So there's actually laws out there from the federal government, and it becomes a felony if you try to communicate with a wild dolphin. Why would they make it illegal to try to talk to a dolphin? That's ridiculous. But anyways, the Illuminatis trilogy goes into that, and Howard explains it. Howard explains all of it. Oh yeah, Julie, dolphins help with childbirth, 100%. We have stories about it. We have multiple accounts of dolphins actually helping with childbirth. Absolutely insane.
That is
Dol-
absolutely insane.
Dolphins feel so. Dolphins are they may be smarter than humans. In all reality, dolphins and whales may be smarter than humans. And because of this, they mourn their dead. They actually get very sad when one of their group members die. They mourn their dead. Um, a mama dolphin who has a baby dolphin that dies, she will carry around the decomposing body of her baby until it's decomposing so bad that she just can't do it no more. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Like you see that the dolphin has actual emotion and loves that baby and knows or should know that that baby is dead, but she can't give it up because she's so sad that she lost her baby.
Right.
So it's crazy, and whales do the same thing, man. Have you seen an orca group of orcas plan out an attack on a shark?
Mm-hmm.
They
I've seen
actually
videos of that.
they plan it out. They talk to each other, they communicate, and then they box the shark in and they kill it together.
Yep.
Which brings me back to the Illuminatis trilogy. Howard the dolphin, it actually snaps back in one of like the like an excerpt of the book or whatever on one of the pages of the book. It's talking about Hagsbard is just doing his own thing or whatever, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's a random paragraph where Hagsbard isn't mentioned and nobody else is mentioned. It says somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean, and it goes back to Howard, and Howard is singing in English, like and like just in the middle of the ocean singing about killing a shark. And he goes into very graphic detail. He's like, if you see the fin, you must not let it win. Kill the shark. Kill the bloody fucking shark. It's so fucking hilarious. And the dolphin's just like, all they want is blood. I need to make or I need to make them bleed. You gotta stay away from that freaky shark fin. It's so funny, but he's like singing, and then it goes out of the paragraph and it goes back to Hagsbard, and you're like, wait a minute. Did I just read a paragraph about a dolphin just swimming around singing about how he killed a shark?
That's funny.
It's hilarious. And uh, the dolphin character is really cool because so Grok didn't know about the dolphin. Grok kept lying to me. Like Grok didn't lie to me, but Grok told me I was lying. Grok was like, "There's no dolphin character in the illuminatis trilogy," and I'm like, first off, you're wrong. I'm reading it right now. There for sure is a dolphin character." I went and I had to go search the internet and get an excerpt out of the book, send it to Grok, and now Grok says, now Grok literally sent me a message that was like, "Thank you for updating my database. I now know that Howard the Dolphin is a character in the Illuminatis trilogy." Do you know how funny that is? I taught AI something today
Right.
because AI kept telling me that there was no dolphin in that book. So these are just some weird things that I ran across while reading the first 4 chapters of the Illuminatus book. And I would read them for y'all, but first off, they are stupid long. There's a lot of words in there that I had to look up even to know what they meant. And then on top of that, with the sexual themes and words that I do not want to say, um, basically, it would not be okay for me to ever read that on air. But if you guys want to get the book, it's on Audible. You can also get it on Barnes and Noble, and you can order it on Amazon. The Illuminatus trilogy, or just the first book, which is the one that I'm reading right now, The Eye of the Pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely worth it. If you want to go read it and just to read it for laughs, because there's so much funny shit that happens in that book, but there's also like it does get kind of sad at points, and it does get kind of like upsetting a little bit because of some of the themes. But you know, with anything, like the more realistic the book is, the more scary themes and realistic things that can be scary happen in the book. You know, and it's like to grab your attention, but at the same time, some of it also bothers me. Like I don't like reading about grape. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't either.
And I don't like watching it on a TV show or a movie. It bothers me.
Either. Oh yeah,
I
me
hate
too.
that kind of shit. But I don't mind the other stuff, just as long as it's like not grape or it's not like anything like that. Like I can read about murder all day. It doesn't bother me. I can read about people being sacrificed to occult stuff all day. It doesn't bother me. But when it comes to that other stuff, the essay and stuff, no thank you. I don't like it. I don't understand why people even have to put it in their books or their not the books, because I actually honestly I do understand the books. I don't like it, but I understand it. I don't understand why people put it into movies or into TV shows when you could really just skip that scene and it wouldn't change the story at all.
Right.
Like for instance, American Horror Story. The
Or
first
The
couple
Hills
seasons
Have
of American
Eyes.
Horror Story was just grape. That's all it was just
Right. The Hills Have Eyes, or you got I'm trying to think of this one. Give me a second. It's an '80s film that became a remake. It's a scary movie. They
Bro, The
made
Hills Have
like
Eyes was crazy as shit.
right. Okay, but there's another one that I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of the name of it.
They
It's
remade it.
about
Halloween?
no. Um, there. It's about this girl who gets kidnapped by a bunch of hillbillies, right? And she goes through all that sexual bullshit, right? And then she takes
Well,
her revenge and kills every single one of them.
right. I don't. Oh my goodness! So I think I know. I think I know what you're referring, but I don't. I don't remember the name of the movie.
It's been so long since I've seen that movie, but they've made like 3 or 4 of them as a series, and it was so graphic and gruesome.
Yeah, I see. I don't like movies like that. Like, you can make a horror film with as many stabbings and like brutal deaths as possible, and I'm okay with that. But the second you start using SA or grape to scare people, that's when I get upset because I'm like, first off, like, if you're watching that and you're getting some kind of enjoyment out of it, you might need therapy.
Yeah.
And set off, the people that are making that, unless it's absolutely necessary, and trust me, it's never absolutely necessary in a horror film, a comedy film, or a romantic film. If you want to do a life story film or something and you have to go into somebody's trauma, I totally get it. But if you're just doing a movie just to do it, just to glorify that kind of thing, that upsets me. The illuminatis trilogy doesn't glorify it, but they definitely do go into it because there's a point where where our main character gets thrown in jail, and his cellmate tries to essay him,
I
which is
remember. I remember it now.
yeah.
I spit on your grave.
I've never heard of that. But anyways, you know, the illuminatus doesn't glorify that kind of thing, but they do go into it a little bit because our boy spends some time in prison, and you know what happens in prison. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a very realistic thing, which is upsetting, but it does happen. Um, Other than the negative things in the book, it's actually quite funny. There are pretty hilarious moments in the Illuminatus trilogy. There are some pretty intense moments in the Illuminatus trilogy that make you actually rethink, am I reading fiction or am I reading what's going on in real life? Like, for instance, when they go into the JFK assassination, it gets really deep and they name off real people and they claim that those people were involved, and they tell you how it happened, where the people were, where they shot from, all different things, and it makes too much sense. And it's just like, am I reading fiction or is this somebody's actual account?
Right.
But anyways, man, we've hit about the hour mark, so I've got some videos that I want to play.
Okay.
All right, we're kicking it off. So that's a picture of a card game called the Illuminati card game. Have you ever heard of the Illuminati card game?
Nope.
So the Illuminati card game is a pretty crazy card game. We'll have to do a whole episode on the Illuminati card game, but the Illuminati card game had predictions in the card game that happened in real life, such as the Twin Towers falling, um, certain banks collapsing and having to be bailed out, just different real world scenarios that actually happened. The Oklahoma City bombing, Columbine, like different things like the game actually predicted, believe it or not. So we'll have to do a whole episode on that.
Definitely.
Are the Illuminati real? And if so, why haven't I been invited? Garfield, where are you? I know you know. I know you know.
So who were the real Illuminati? Let's reveal their true story. The Illuminati were a secret society founded on May 1st, 1776, in Bavaria by Adam Weishaupt. They aimed to promote Enlightenment ideals like reason, secularism, and the separation of church and state. To challenge the influence of the Catholic Church and monarchy, they advocated for rationalism, science, and freedom of thought. They wanted political reform and opposed religious control. The Illuminati operated in secret. Members used pseudonyms and encrypted communication. Their methods included secret meetings and philosophical discussions. By the late 1780s, the Bavarian government banned the Illuminati. Weishaupt fled and the society disbanded. Yet, their legacy endures. Though there's no credible evidence they survived past the 18th century, modern conspiracy theories keep the myth alive. The Illuminati story continues to fascinate and mystify. Like and subscribe for more videos.
So how do you feel about that?
That's a lot to take in.
You've got what's his name asking why, if the Illuminati is real, why hasn't he been invited? And then it immediately goes to who the Illuminati are. In the book, you know, it really goes into Adam Weishaupt and how he created the Bavarian Illuminati, and how supposedly he fled when they banned the Illuminati, but there's a very good chance that Weishaupt could have been the conspiracy that they throw around in the book is that he made it to America and he assumed the position of George Washington, and he became the first president here and controlled and basically set the Illuminati into motion here. That's the conspiracy in the book.
Okay.
So that's pretty freaking interesting to me.
Right.
And that's one of the copies of one of the books.
Yep.
When people talk about like secret societies, and I think it's like it's not like this formed meeting. It's just like like-minded individuals, like people who operate on the same frequency. There doesn't have to be this written rule book. It's just like, oh no, we intuitively, we move like this. We gravitate towards certain things, and it's unfortunate because people who operate in low frequency, that it's the same way, and it's like, you know, you always like, damn, that person can't catch a break. It's like, that's because they're living in that frequency.
What does that frequency look and feel like?
It's slow, it's thick, it's heavy.
Blame.
Yeah. Victimization, it's anger, it's you know what I mean? It's one of those things where
jealousy. Yeah,
all of that shit. It's unfortunate because of people who operate in it, they don't know that they're in it. And it's almost like they almost desire that, and they feel like they have to have angst and anger to get their point across. And like, man, you're doing so much more damage to yourself, and you're digging yourself deeper by pointing fingers at people who are on a completely different frequency than you. They don't even hear you, and you're clouding up your existence instead of just like stepping out of that frequency.
So how do you take Nick Cannon's whole take on the Illuminati?
He has a valid point on that. That's interesting to think about.
That it's just people who are on the same frequency. It's not actually an order. It's not actually a group. It's just these people that are on the same vibrational frequency that are illuminated.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting thought.
Oh yeah.
Up until 1999, the Oscars was held at a building called the Shrine, which was founded by William Florence and Walter Fleming, two high-ranking Scottish Rite Freemasons. Hollywood has long been interested in Freemasonry. Gene Autry, John Wayne, Nat King Cole, Duke Ellington, C.C. DeMille, Clark Gable, Walt Disney, Oliver Hardy, you name it, the list goes on. Many celebrities have come out and admitted their connection to Freemasonry. In the book Morals and Dogma, written by Albert Pike, on page 321, Freemasons let us know exactly who their God is. It says, Lucifer, the light bearer, strange and mysterious name given to the spirit of darkness. Lucifer, the son of the morning. It is he who bears the light, and with it splendors intolerable, blinds feeble, sensual, or selfish souls. Doubt it not. When the movie Life is Beautiful was awarded at the Oscars, the camera quickly pulls back and shows a wide of the stage. When you pause it, you can see elements of Freemasonry built into the very set. If you look at a Masonic tracing board, a tool a Mason uses to teach and educate people involved in Freemasonry how to spot things that are connected to that organization, you can see the checkered floor, you can see the archways, you can see the sun motif in the background. All of these are letting you know exactly who owns this organization. When the Oscars moved from 1999 from the Shriners Building to the Kodak Theater, where it currently resides today, you can still see a lot of these elements of Freemasonry incorporated into the stage. You have the sun motif in the ceiling. You have the checkered flags upon the stage and the arches. Outside of the Kodak Theater, you have the gate to Ishtar. And you have Babylonian gods put on the outside of the gate. The whole area surrounding the Kodak Theater was designed after a 1916 movie called Intolerance, where they recreated the very set that they had for Babylon. They have the same exact elephants. They have the same exact gate of Ishtar. They have the same exact Babylonian gods over the top of the gates. You see, if you go and visit the very home of the Oscars, where they hold it each year, you can see a plaque on the wall that says the Babylonian Court. At the 2016 Oscars for Best Cinematography Award, the camera shows you the stage and you see an unmistakable Tower of Babel embedded into the design. You see, brothers and sisters, they know exactly where they are. While the world is wandering after all of these celebrities, we would do well to heed the very advice from Jesus' lips himself.
So he's saying that the Freemasons in their book, or in the book written Dogma and whatever, that it says that the Freemason god is Lucifer. But everything that I've ever heard about the Masons is that you can believe whatever god you want to believe in.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know how true that is about the whole their gods being Lucifer or whatever. But maybe it is. I don't know.
Right.
I do say, you know how, sorry, you know how he was talking about the goddess Ishtar?
Yeah.
So, Ishtar, weird thing about Ishtar, when I was younger, a lot younger, I used to mess with certain things when I would go out and have fun. Wink, wink. But I one night on let's just say I went on a little trip and I had a crazy dream, and the thing that came to me was Ishtar. And I didn't know who it was. Like, I kept repeating that name and I had to look it up like afterwards. And then it like really freaked me out when I found out who Ishtar was. Because I was like, I don't want anything like that visiting me. No, thank you. But that's like the weirdest experience I've ever had, and that's where I learned the name Ishtar. Like before that, I never even knew what the name Ishtar was, which that really freaked me out when I looked that up and I realized I had dreamt that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I think there's something to say about like these a lot of these deities or whatever. I think even if they're not like actual deities, I think they're probably like demonic energy, some of them, and they figure out a way how to basically leech off of your energy. And they find people. Yeah, they find people because like I kind of well I worship a deity which is Anubis. And some people may say, well, you're probably worshiping a demon then, because what you just said would mean that um that would be a demon too. Well, maybe. I hope not. Maybe. I I I've seen Anubis, and Anubis didn't seem like an evil being. I couldn't tell you though. It's hard. It's hard for me to explain to somebody how I've seen Anubis because that doesn't make sense to a lot of people. It's all spiritual for sure. So I understand, but it's very weird that, you know, that goddess Ishtar would ever appear in my mind without ever hearing that name before. And she's mentioned in a lot of stuff. Like now that you've heard Ishtar, bro, I think in the next 3, 4 days you'll hear it again, and I won't even be talking about it. You'll hear it on TikTok, or you'll see it on Facebook, or you'll hear it from somebody else. Like I've noticed now, like Ishtar is a big name that gets put out around.
Right.
What are your thoughts on all that?
That's a lot to take in, man. Like for me in general, because it's hard to comprehend all that, especially
Well,
with like I can see where you're coming from without them saying that he could be a demon and all that, and I'm like, but
well,
here's the thing.
that's what it seems to be though. Like, is that like so aliens, man? Like, the more I look into extraterrestrials, the more I realize that extraterrestrials and these deities and these things that people were talking about way back in the day, they're not actually aliens. They're angels and they're demons.
Right.
That's what
They're
they are.
they're deities.
No, no, no. I'm saying those deities have
Are
always been
considered angels and demons.
they've always been angels and demons. Like demons and angels have always been here. Like if you believe in God and everything that he does, I mean he tells you he has angels and he tells you there are demons. And you know, I don't know if it's ever specified if they walk amongst us on earth, but I believe they do. I believe they do. If religion is correct, which almost every religion in the entire world has an angel or a demon or both, if that's all real, then they for sure are out walking amongst all of us.
Right.
Damn, that rain really picked up outside.
It's not doing that over here.
It's not. It's like thunderstorming out here and there's lightning like crazy.
It's lightning over here. Or no, not lightning, thunder.
Yeah, guys,
That's
we're like
all.
going through a storm right now.
Yeah. We only have me viewing on Facebook. It
Thank you,
shows the
JD.
icon.
JD said that she understands what I'm saying. Like she said that I sound very on track to her understanding. So
Right.
I'm
And,
glad.
and I
Like,
and I can see where you're coming from with all that too. But it's for me, it's kind of hard to comprehend at the same time because here's the thing: I've always known them as a lowercase g god, and even though, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, and you said everybody has their right to their own opinion.
yeah.
They may have existed at one point, but they don't exist now.
See, I think you're wrong. Like, and I think that the only reason I say that I think you're wrong is me and you have ourselves have gone through paranormal activity. One at a house that we had one talk to us
We did.
at the lady's house.
No, no, I mean like lowercase g's.
I think it was a demon, man.
I mean, yeah, okay. So when I'm talking about like angels and demons, yes, they'll talk to you in a certain way, right? But when I'm talking about like Egyptian gods or Greek gods and all them, they may have existed at one point, but they don't
Bro,
exist anymore.
here's a theory for you.
Okay.
They never existed to begin with, and they're angels and demons. And
Okay.
they've been here the entire freaking time. That is
Right.
literally what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is they can take any form. An angel or a demon can take any form that it so pleases. Now, I'm not saying like like these groups of people, whether they be the Sumerians, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Egyptians, the pagans, the Romans, the Greeks, whether it be any of these people that worshipped multiple gods, okay? The thing that I believe happened is all of those gods are the same people. And all of those gods have always been angels and demons.
Right.
And certain angels and demons come down or have always been here, and basically they they interfere and interact with human life on a daily basis. Some of these angels will save you sometimes. Say you're in a car wreck and then out of nowhere someone appears and helps you, and if they hadn't been there you would have died. But when the paramedics get there, there ain't nobody there. That's probably an angel. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like that's all I'm saying. I'm saying that it's I think, and I've thought about it quite a lot recently, especially reading this stuff, like reading these books and reading just read like I've gotten really into a lot of the historical Egyptian texts, and quite a few of their gods sound quite like a few of the original storybook Sumerian gods, like to a T. And the Sumerian gods would have been the what some people want to be like that's the Anunnaki or that's the Nephilim. Those were the Sumerian gods. So I mean, if you go back into time and you look at it through a biblical aspect, it starts to make quite a bit more sense than, like, I've been kind of having a revelation lately, okay? Like, I'm not going to say that I 100% believe there's only one God, but I'm getting closer. I'm definitely getting closer to believing that. And the reason why is because I look at all of this stuff and it starts making sense, making more and more and more sense. And them all being angels and demons, that makes more sense. Because they don't have to be bad in order for them to rule over somebody. If you praise an angel, I mean, if you worship it, you might be going too far in God's eyes. But if you praise it all the time, I don't think that's a bad thing. And I don't even think that's a bad thing in God's eyes. And therefore, that angel would stand by. I'm named after an angel, which is praise to an angel. So, I mean, that's just a theory.
Fair point.
Yeah, man, because all of these ancient gods and all of these, they all sound the same. They all sound the same. Every god that is talked about in Greek lore, in Roman lore, in Aztec and Mayan lore, they all have a god of war. They all have a god of love. They all have a god of nature. They all have a god of this. They all have a god of that, and they all sound exactly the same.
Yep.
Make it make sense. If they all have these, then I believe that they probably were worshiping the same things.
Right.
So, and if there's only one God, then you're either worshiping angels or demons. Hopefully, you're not worshiping demons. But but the Greeks and the Romans both had Hades, like, hell. And then you had Helheim for, like, the Asgardians and the Norse people. So, like, religions have always believed in demons or bad places you're gonna go. And I mean, you brought that guy up today. That guy today that is claiming, he said something pretty prophetic, which would mean he's the false prophet, basically, which is he's trying to claim that everybody is your own pope. Like, he said that a couple of times. He's like, you should be worshiping yourself, which that's already like
And
false
he
prophet
said
shit.
Peter was false.
Yeah, he called out Peter too. Yeah, he said a lot of shit. Like, a lot of the stuff he was saying sounded very Luciferian or satanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but he claims not to be the Antichrist. So, like, I see it as either he's a very good actor or he's blatantly being put in our face, and he's a demon of some kind. And it's getting closer and closer to that time. We have all this crazy stuff going on, and the more you look at the earth and what Mother Nature is doing, trying to take the earth back, dude, something crazy is going to happen in the next 50 years. In the next 50 years, I think something biblical might happen. Just to be quite honest. I didn't think it would happen in my lifetime, but I'm starting to think more and more that it may all happen in our lifetime. With the deities, man, like, you don't have to even believe they're real, by the way. Um there's certain deities for other, like, so ancient Egyptian deities. I follow Anubis because I actually met the deity. And I know, like, that sounds crazy to everybody, but that's real. I met the deity. So that's why I have such a strong connection with that deity. but I do understand that that deity could be energy. And if it's energy, you know, that could be used in any way.
Yeah.
They say Israel's the clock, and there's only one generation left after it became a country again. I mean, sure. I think with Israel though, like you got to be careful because like they tell Christians and Catholics like you have to stand behind Israel. Like you have to be there for Israel. It doesn't matter how bad or what Israel's doing. You have to be there for Israel, and that's what's scary. Is like they use that to their political nonsense advantage. Like, do I think it's hard? Like, it's horrible what's going on in the Middle East? 100%. I don't think any of that crap should be going on. And at first, I was for Israel because I was seeing all of this stuff going on and all of it happening. But now I'm starting to see that a lot of the stuff going on with Israel is starting to be very retaliatory towards people that are not even fighting them, to normal people out there. And that's ridiculous. That's the same crap that the Germans did. So I can't stand behind that. I can stand behind the fact of you shouldn't be anti Semitic. You shouldn't hurt Jewish people to hurt Jewish people. That's horrible. You should stand behind Jewish people, but real Jewish people, not the bad Jewish people. And there are bad Jewish people. Just like there are good Jewish people. Just like there are bad Christians and bad Buddhists. There are good Buddhists and good Christians too. There are very good Christians. So that's just all I'm saying. How do you feel about it?
I mean, you're right. There is some issues going on around the world in that situation, and it's hard for me even to talk about. And I mean, there's a lot of Christians out there who are stuck up,
Yeah, for sure.
and
There's also a lot of there's a lot of different religions and different people out there that are stuck up.
and then one problem that okay, so yes, I'm religious, right? But I'm not. But I'm more spiritual than religious, and the extreme religious ones I like to call religious nuts.
Well, yeah, you have religious fanatics, and there are religious fanatics. There are people that
Right.
will preach the Bible 24/7 and absolutely just cram it down your throat and make you hate religion. Trust me, I
And
grew up in a kind of like, and I grew up in a way where I wouldn't say like it was rammed down my throat, but it was definitely expected of me from my family, and I did not enjoy it because of that. Had somebody
see,
given me the choice at an early age, like, what do you want to believe in? I think I would have made a choice and I would have picked something and I would have wanted to go to it. But the problem is my dad would have probably not been okay with that ever. He wanted me to be Jewish.
my issue growing up, I would go to church. I chose to go to church. My mom didn't force me. I just went.
Yeah.
But when, as growing up into the church and seeing how it was, and all these other churches I would go to, because I would try to go to different churches, see how they were like. I would see the same pattern. And one thing I don't agree with is the fanatic Christians or religious nuts, as I like to call them, who are so stuck up that they're so judgmental. Where you do one wrong thing or you wear one wrong thing, you're a sinner, and you don't belong in the church.
Dude, I think that's so funny though. Like I knew this church or whatever. Like I didn't go to this church, but I knew of a church where a family member got banned because another family member said something ridiculous. And that is absolutely crazy. Like because their family member said something ridiculous, they got banned from church. And I'm like, are you serious? You can't go back to church because such and such happened with so and so and you weren't involved at all?
Okay, here's what's even more messed up,
Look at
right?
a church blackballing their entire congregation, right?
Okay, I'm 15, right? At the age of 15, around this time, and I would go to youth group, and this youth group was for anyone from freshman year to senior year. I was wearing black jeans because everybody that knew me knew I loved wearing black jeans. It's, black's my
The
favorite
thing that
color.
always weirded me out was a couple of times you came to school in corduroy, and I was like, "What the hell are you wearing?"
I
you
mean,
were- you were like, "I like they're soft."
they were
I know.
corduroy slacks are very soft.
There were 2 times you came to that I remember you coming to high school in corduroy, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
And okay, so I'm wearing black jeans and I'm wearing a I'm wearing DC shoes or
Dude, I
Van
love
shoes.
DCs. Oh, Vans. Okay, well those are
Yeah,
still good. DCs are my favorite.
yeah. And I was wearing a Metallica t-shirt or I would be wearing a Punisher t-shirt,
God
right?
damn, did you guys hear that? Holy crap. It
It's
just
storming over
thundered.
here
My
right
kid
now.
might my kid might run out here yelling and screaming and crying. So sorry guys.
Yeah.
If he's
So
not sleeping through this, he might come out here yelling and crying.
I'm literally walking into church, heading to youth group. I'm getting looks at me at the age of 15. And I'm like, why are they staring at me? And I had long hair at the time.
Right.
And
Just a
next
second.
thing I know, my mom pulls me over.
Just a second.
Go, okay.
I told it woke him up. I think he's okay. He went to go to the bathroom.
So I literally get these stairs and I go to my mom. It's like, why are people staring at me? She looks down at my shirt. She's like, you realize what you're wearing, right? I look down. I'm like, yeah, Metallica. What's wrong with that? You're getting judged by
Yeah.
elderly. I'm like,
Who
I can't wear what I want to wear to freaking church without getting judged.
no. No, because they expect you to go to church in like your nicest church outfit. And they don't consider Metallica your nicest church outfit.
I'm like, this is stupid. I'm close to not wanting to be part of church anymore. So since then, and I made the decision at the age of 18 after dealing with that crap for 3 to 4 years. I was like, all right, I'll give other churches a try. Dealt with some, judgments from even when I went to that one program. I finally came to the terms that I'm no longer going to be involved in the church. If I go to a church, it's to go to the pantry once a week, and I'll still read my Bible. I'll still pray to God. I'll watch sermons on the internet, on YouTube, but I refuse to go to church.
Yeah, I mean the church shouldn't treat people the way it does, and maybe more people would want to go.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, man, I think we should end tonight on a good note. So I think with everything that we've talked about tonight, what was your favorite thing you learned about the illuminatis trilogy, or anything else that we talked about?
I think the dolphin one got me.
What part about the dolphin? Just the
The
dolphin
singing.
in story? Oh,
The-
the singing?
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, the dolphin sings a song about killing a shark,
That's funny.
and it's absolutely hilarious. And I found that I found that so funny. And he makes a remark about what they do to humans down there, but he says like he makes it seem like there are zoos down there and the dolphins have us in exhibits. Like how we have them in exhibits. That they occasionally have one of us and they put us in an exhibit. How crazy.
That's crazy.
But he's a talking dolphin who's a part of a secret society called the Delphines. The secret society of the Delphines. I absolutely love that. Well, tonight we went over a little bit of the Illuminatis trilogy. I'll probably have another episode on the Illuminatis trilogy after I finish the first book and go into the second one, just because I find it to be a really interesting subject, and with how they bring in people like John Dillinger and JFK and MLK, Malcolm X, and just all of these different people that are talked about through actual like history, makes the book so much fun, even though it's supposed to be fictional. Even though there are some points and some parts of that book that I'm like, is this fictional or am I listening to somebody's actual story?
Right.
So, but yeah, we did tonight. We did the Illuminatus. It was really fun. Tomorrow, crew wants to do what?
We're gonna do part 4 of Terra Infinita.
So we're gonna do part 4 of Terra Infinita tomorrow, guys. So we can't wait to see you there.
And Julie
Is there
will be on
anything
the
else?
episode as well, because she's part of that series.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say tonight, crew?
Nothing I can think of.
All right. Well, we love all you guys that tune in every night and watch. If you could share our videos, that would be awesome. We hope to see you guys on stream tomorrow. We love all y'all. Peace out from the Robert and Crew Show.
If you don't like boring news but still crave the truth, then dive into The Robert and Crew Show. From mind-bending conspiracy theories to wild weather phenomena, we've got it all. Ever wondered what's really happening in your hometown, or what secrets the global news isn't telling you? We dig deep into the core of every story, unraveling the mysteries one podcast at a time. Join Robert and the crew as we navigate this vibrant, ever-changing cyberpunk landscape, bringing you interviews with the most intriguing minds out there. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, a news junkie or a weather enthusiast, there's something here for you. So strap in, listeners, because we're about to take you on a ride through the neon-lit alleys of truth and intrigue. This is the Robert and Crew Show, where the future meets the fantastic.